Bitcoin trading around 70K following some bullish comments from former President Trump at the Bitcoin 2024 conference. Our Mackenzie Sagalos was there over the weekend and joins us back at CNBC HQ with the details. Mackenzie.
So after weeks of hype, Donald Trump's keynote leaned into a lot of existing pro-Bitcoin talking points, but it actually failed to deliver any big promises on monetary policy, which is what his new crypto base was looking for down in Nashville. The Republican presidential nominee pledged to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler, a longtime crypto skeptic. Now, not only can the president not do that, even if Trump were to appoint a new chair after Gensler's term ends in over a year from now, Gensler would still remain a commissioner on the independent agency. But the main thing was Trump's promise to launch a strategic Bitcoin stockpile comprised of the roughly $14.5 billion worth of Bitcoin that the U.S. has seized in legal actions.
If I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future.
So the reaction on the ground was relatively muted. People were hoping that Trump would commit to actually buying Bitcoin through a strategic reserve, similar to what independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. unveiled Friday when he said that he'd direct the Treasury to buy 4 million Bitcoin, which is about $280 billion at current prices. The assumption is that if the U.S. did this, other countries would follow suit and plunging supply would drive up price. Meanwhile, I'm hearing from Democratic lawmakers that they're working with the VP on her platform. One congressman says the Kamala Harris campaign is going to reset their crypto strategy in a major way, Leslie.
Mackenzie, I'm just curious how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies play a role in the actual fundraising that the candidates have and how that has evolved over time, just in terms of getting these candidates more familiar with the cryptocurrency.
That's a great question. So, a few months ago, you had Trump do this total 180 and brand himself as the pro-crypto candidate for president, and the donations and endorsements came rolling in. And so with respect to your question, crypto as a way of raising cash, so crypto tokens alone, he's raised more than $4 million from CEOs in the industry. And then it's just being pro-crypto in your rhetoric has also brought more people over to the Trump camp. The partners of A16Z and Sequoia Capital, VCs that both invest in crypto projects, are giving Trump money. His fundraiser in Nashville, though, I will say a lot of similar names came to that event. We saw Coinbase's chief legal officer, who had already shown up at a David Sachs fundraiser for Trump. There, we saw the Winklevoss brothers, same set of Bitcoin miners. So the question is whether he's expanding his reach or if it's become a bit of an echo chamber.